Hello. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey Roberto, how are you?
I'm very excited to be here. And actually, I'm very looking forward to this conversation today with you. We are
Okay,
already live, and I already see there are 6 persons connected to the
okay.
live stream in the first moment. So, hi, everyone. And if you are, uh, let me take out here. Okay. So I'm not going to look into the chat, but if you want to send a message, say hi. So we will be engaging with the people who is connected. And first of all, I want to thank you. Thank you, Jonathan, for this opportunity and for also for the inspiration to read the
Mhm.
book because I enjoyed it very much. And this is also why I'm looking forward to the conversation. And I also want to thank the people who is connected here. And then I'm going to close this because we are investing 1 hour of our time, which is the only thing that we have. We only have that now, and it's never going to come back. So we have to make this investment of 1 hour worth of our time, of course, and of the time of the people, which I have no doubt. And so we will be checking to the chat, and we will not be interacting live in the chat, but we will make some pauses during the conversation so we can see what question do you have. And I invite you to ask question to Jonathan. We both love the Ask Me Anything. So we will improvise. We will see. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of things to share. So this will be very fun. And actually, before starting, I want to invite all the people who is connected to share in the chat what comes to your mind when we talk about transformation in a business context. The first things that come to your mind, and then we will check the chat and see what's there. And before, little introduction. I know you since 2022. I listened to a podcast with we were discussing with Gianpaolo Santorsola the
Mhm.
transformation of the business of Adevinta, which was very inspiring. Then we get in touch in 2023, and finally now with your book, we got back in touch, and we had the idea of giving more voice to this idea that we care about. And I want to start with a quote from the book, which actually is on the end, which I really like, which is this one, which says, and I'm going to read it: "Work is the most powerful force on the planet to lead positive impact at scale." And I know this is a very dear quote to you, which is connected to your story and also to the book. So I would love to hear a little bit about this connection.
Wow, what a start, huh? What a start. No, thanks everyone. Thanks Roberto, and thanks everyone that is today listening to this live and probably afterwards. I guess this stays, no, somehow in LinkedIn. Yeah, I do believe that work is the most powerful force in the planet, no, to lead a positive impact scale. I think we are now in a moment where work is going to be transformed exponentially in the next years. We are seeing how humanoids, right, are going to enter the workforce in a way that we have never seen it before.
Yeah,
And I do believe that it's our moment as humans to become as humans as possible, right, and to use our cognitive skills, to use our imagination, to use our skills that only humans have to really create and to really make work, um, that to make work matter, right? And to make sure that humans work in those things that only humans can work, and that every single minute that is dedicated by a human is dedicated on things that really have an impact for the consumers they serve, for the users they serve, for the society where we are. And I think this is the most important thing. We cannot continue spending time in working on things that robots will be able to do in the future, in the near future, in the 2 3 years, not more.
yeah, and that's beautiful because what I hear from you is that we want to do things that matter and not
Exactly.
just to do whatever, but
Yep.
things
Yep.
that matter and in which we put our best, not just our
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. And uh, and so this connects to why write the book and why now. Which, by the way, I think some hint you already gave. Why now? But why to bring this idea into a book?
Well, I have to say I started to write the book something like 15 years ago. I had a role where I was traveling around the world and I spent hours and hours, in the planes. And I started to build, my first notes and my first structure. But yeah, because of my corporate role and later when I founded Actio Global, I had to park this project a bit until the COVID. And then the COVID was a perfect moment to recover it and to bring this book back to life. And why now? I answered because I think we are now in the most important moment of humanity. We need to make sure that work matters and matters more than ever. I think work is at the center of any social integration that we might imagine in the future, not only with robots, also with us as humans, no, moving across the world and working on things that matter has to be at the center. And also because for many years I have been, doing, experimenting,
Yeah,
shaping ways of working across the world in many organizations, in many cultures, in many contexts, with many leaders, with many situations, with many fears.
yeah,
Um, and I thought that it was, the right moment to share this, democratize, our knowledge and to share it with others so that others could also experiment. And through this experimentation, we could make the ways of working stronger in the organizations across the world. So that's the reason why I decided to publish it now after so many years.
yeah, and absolutely. And by the way, you've led with Actio Global 320 business transformation. So
Mhm.
that's quite a track record. And also, there's one thing that you write in the book, which is there is no secret, and this is the secret.
Mhm.
And this is also why you write the book, because it is all transparent, and you want to share it.
Yeah, I like the way Andreas Jolle, that was the CEO of Harman Group at the time I was working there, and he was, I was highly inspired by him when we were together. I like the way he describes, this. He says it's the key, that many people know but don't know how to turn it, and other people know it but they don't want to turn it, right? But in the end, it's the simple key, brutal focus on what matters the most, building a network of A players that
Mm.
work on those things that matter the most, shaping a culture that is obsessed with impacting and not doing, and last but not least, a leadership rhythm that makes sure that our ambition is always greater than our resources. And that's the key. That's the no secret that I explain in the book, right? And it's been a pleasure to write it and to share it with so many people in the last weeks.
Yeah, and then I guess always the key is the execution. As you said, you know the key, you have it in your hand, but you have to turn it. If you don't turn it
Absolutely,
because you don't want or you can't or whatever, then that happens. Yeah, beautiful.
absolutely, absolutely.
Let's see. Oh, we have a lot of comments already. So let's check one minute in the chat before going to these four parts of the key, the four steps, which is already gave a little spoiler. Okay, Thierry, hi Thierry. He
Hi.
says opportunity and grief has come to mind with the transformation, probably. And okay, hi Prashant. Hi Simla. Transformation. Simla says changing to a better form, presenting the strengths and dropping what is not working. This connects a lot with
Mhm.
the book. And we have also sustainability. And I hope we will go to the beach. Yeah, okay, this is of course probably a good outcome. Yeah, so I already see some of the themes from the book. So I'm
Mhm.
curious now, what would be the first one of these four?
Well, I have to say the four are interconnected,
Mhm.
and but yes, the first one is brutal focus. Always starts with brutal focus. No, it's to make sure that organizations are abundantly clear about what they want to pursue, what winning means for them,
Mm.
where do they want to play to win, and what winning exactly means in terms of outcomes for each of these where to play choices, right? And this means also defining, communicating very clear what are the things that we are not going to pursue,
Mm.
right? In the book, I explained that in organizations we build something we call the wall. The wall is where this brutal, um, clear priorities are displayed across the organization, but we also create the stop wall, which are the things that we are not going to pursue, are the things that we make clear for everyone that this is not our priority right now. Doesn't mean it's worse or not worse. And a company has to define their winning choices. And this is not a winning choice for us. We don't have whatever the capability, we don't have the ambition, we don't have the skills, or it's not the right thing to do exactly now,
Yeah, not now.
which doesn't mean it's not something we will pursue in the future. Means making it clear in this cycle. By cycle might be the quarter, the half year, the tertial. This is something we are not going to pursue. And without brutal focus, you can do nothing. You cannot build any way of working, and that's how that's how the book starts with the first driver, and it's a very important one, as you know, because you also have a lot of experience with this, Roberto.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of conversations about this, and you know, in your experience also, you know how important it is to start with brutal focus and then to build the rest of the drivers on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it reminds me one thing that is also a struggle for me and maybe for many people, which is the FOMO, because there are so many things, so many opportunities. There are endless opportunity with
Mhm,
AI, without AI, whatever. And to decide what not to do, what is not
mhm,
yet or not now, and
mhm,
stopping something that you love.
mhm,
Some
mhm,
theories talk about the grief and the
mhm,
opportunity. This is also something that you have to accept. I accept
mhm,
that I don't want to do this, and then
mhm,
you have to execute it. Yeah, and I love the idea of the wall. And actually, when I was reading the book, I was curious. Then there is an illustration, but I would like you to say it a little bit more, because when you say the wall, the first thing that I thought with it, but what is the wall, and how the wall works, and then stop wall. So can you give us an example so that the people can have this into mind and then maybe bring it to their day to day?
Yeah, it's a wall that unites, you know, everyone in the organization, and everyone looks at that wall, and it's the single source of truth, right? And I was highly inspired by what I saw, to be honest, in early in my career in Toyota
Mm,
operations, right? Uh, when I walk into their operations, you know, there were walls where they displayed exactly, you know, this connection, this true north, not connecting the
yeah,
vision of the organization with, you know, even the performance of a specific line, of a specific car production, whatever. No, and I was highly inspired by this first, and then at Procter and Gamble, I also saw a lot of good practices in this direction, with you know, clear PDCA's cycles, you know, connected from the vision of the company to the employee ownership. And yeah, I always talked about the wall, you know, as those as that thing, also to eliminate, no, the sometimes the bad connotation that the wall might have, not the wall where everyone sits in front of it
yeah,
and looks at it, and it's where the reality, the truth is. And the wall in an organization is normally a digital. We built also, no, a digital platform ourselves at Actio Global, because we found that there was no, let's say, other technology or other instrument that existed in the wall, and we decided to build our own platform. And it's a platform, is a wall where everyone can go and just see what are the priorities of the organization, what are the outcomes that each of these priorities is trying to achieve, who is the leader of each of these
mhm,
priorities. So clear accountability is important. Without this clear ownership, nothing happens. Then also, what is the team that is working on this priority? This is very important, and we probably talk later about distributed leadership, but also clear talent allocation, right? To make sure that one person is not working in 6 priorities, 10 priorities at the same
Yeah.
time. So clear time allocation. And the wall is live. In the wall, you see how execution happens week by week, how the teams have iterative, evolving execution plans that are developed, refined as they move, as they execute. Also, the obstacles. It's very important. We like the walls to see the obstacles. We don't like to go into the wall to see that everything is green. We like to see red. We like to see a lot of obstacles, a lot of problems, and we work so that leaders, the top management, help the teams to unlock these obstacles. And that's the front of the wall, and at the back of the wall you have the stop wall, right? Which is, you click, you see the stop wall, and everyone can see what are the things we don't want to pursue as an organization, what is our commitment, who is the person that is responsible to make sure that this is not going to take time of people.
Yeah.
And everyone can see with a lot of transparency the wall and the stop wall, and there is no ambiguity at all. No ambiguity at all. That is the main characteristic of the wall. It's a unique source of truth in an organization.
Yeah. So what I hear is that it's a space. It's a space that you create with your team. When you look at the priority, everyone looks at the same thing. They are updated. We are not hiding. We are not uh, mm, putting the half truth. We are just saying what it is. And this reminds me of one thing that you repeat over and over in the book, which are the PowerPoint karaoke's. So, can you tell me how different is the PowerPoint karaoke from the wall, and why is this so important?
PowerPoint. Every time I hear PowerPoint. Now, very clear,
Yeah,
no? We step into an organization, they show us their PowerPoint, 20, 30,
yeah,
30 pages with a lot of, what happens with this PowerPoint, no? Normally is that you have a lot of boxes, a lot of diagrams, a lot of duplication, a lot of gray areas, a lot of ambiguity.
yeah,
Um, you have you have the ambition, but you don't have a clear definition of the what you want to achieve. You don't have a clear owner. It's not live. It's something that was created 2 months ago, but it's not live. And especially, it's always looking backwards, right? It's not looking forward.
mm,
For me, the most important thing of the wall, we don't look at the wall to report. We don't look at the wall to explain that everything is fine. We look at the wall to look where the reds are, where the problems are, where we all need to work together as an organization you know to
yeah,
increase our focus, to increase our ambition, to increase our execution. um, the wall just has 2 levels: the level of the leadership team, where the leadership team has clearly defined what winning means for the organization and where to play to win. And then another second level, which is where the teams define, refine, improve, and deliver their execution. And we like this simplicity, right? Because I think without simplicity,
yeah,
organizations get lost in a lot of methodologies, and in a lot of um, flip charts and post-its, and a lot of stuff that doesn't add value. So we like the simplicity of the wall with only 2 layers, and a lot of clarity, because the clarity is what allows us to focus on the business, to focus on the consumers, to focus on the society, and to focus on working together toward common goals and avoiding political traps.
yes. And also one thing that comes to my mind when you say this is very simple. The question that pops to me is that, okay, and then how do you go to the teams? We have one wall, but then we
Mhm.
can we have a wall for each group or for each team or each department, or there is just one for the whole organization?
You go deep today, huh?
Yeah.
You go deep. You go deep today. Yeah, we like to have one source of truth, that is the wall for the company. So all the silos work together toward common goals. And by the way, when I mean silos, I don't mean by definition department. No, one of the things I explain in the book is that a department is not a silo by
Mm,
default. It's a silo when they start to work on their self-interest and not in the interest of the organization, the consumers, and the people working in the organization. But yeah, one source of truth, the wall, the brutally important priorities for the organization. Then each team has a second layer, which is where they have their execution plan, one priority, one team,
Mm,
one execution plan. And if there are teams that need to self-organize specifically for their business as usual, for the things that are beyond the brutally important,
yeah.
the wall allows you to have, let's say, self-organization in your area of responsibility, always connected with the brutally important, to make sure that this self-organization in the business as usual is not preventing people to focus on the brutally important. So here there is a big interconnection in
Yeah.
terms of talent, right? Because in the end, priority is work of people, and you need to connect both things.
Okay. So what I hear is that the departments are like some pools where the people works. They have the talent. They do their job. They do the day to day because they're still there. But then they
Mhm.
go through the priorities, and then we say, okay, we have this mission, as you call them, this mission. I have one mission, one person, one timeline, and then the people goes there, and then we go to the next step.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this is. I'm here now in Berlin, and a question I had this morning working with the board. So the departments no longer. We will not need departments in the future. We will not need areas or functions in the future. And it's a question we get all the actual global team get in every single company we work for, and our answer is very clear. We need departments more than ever. We need
Mhm.
stronger, the strongest possible financial departments, the strongest possible HR departments, the strongest possible marketing departments. Why? Because we need that people grow in this department their functional skills, their functional capabilities. We need the best talent there so that they can flow to value to those teams that will be working in cross-functional teams across the organization in order to deliver on the brutally important priorities for the consumers, the users, or those that the organization serve. By the way, we are always talking about companies. Seems that we are only talking about companies that serve consumers or users or customers,
Yeah.
but also can be to serve citizens, right? This what we are all describing here works perfectly for organizations that serve citizens, and because this is about, as we said at the start of the session, is about having a positive impact, and the positive impact is at the center of the ways of working we build across the globe.
Yeah, exactly. And also what I hear this is that the people will be, and this probably connect with the next step with when you go to a project, you have ownership of that project because you are not in a big team, or you cannot hide, let's say, between many things. You go to the project, then you are the responsible from finance, from marketing, for whatever, for the project, and then you own all your expertise and all the things in that project for you. So
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah. This is how it works. Yeah, there is one person that is a fan of you, Arancha Garcia. She's the director, the global culture director at Danone, and she describes very well in the book this idea about ownership. No, she has seen it firsthand, and how the teams own their mission, how they own their execution plan, how they own the iterations that they have to do along the way,
Yeah,
because this execution plan is an alive execution plan, is something that changes every day as they execute and they put things in front of their customers, their consumers. They get reactions, they get data, then they iterate and
yeah,
evolve. And this ownership is very beautiful to see in reality, because in the end you eliminate the silos. It's a team, from different skills, with different areas of expertise, working together toward a common goal, where they are bringing their best into this, and they behave like the CEOs of the company working together towards this common goals. This is it's beautiful to see in reality and how people um, go farther, right, in what they used to work before.
yeah. And this connects also to what you said in the beginning about work and giving
Mhm.
the importance of work into the human people. So this is looks like something exciting, something
Absolutely.
where you grow. It's not like working more and being treated like a machine. All the opposite
Or the
is
opposite.
being very disciplined, but precisely that discipline give you the freedom to do whatever you want, let's say, if you are going for that mission within your scope of responsibility. And this is actually, we're talking already about the second part, probably, which is the what you call distributed leadership. And what are the other parts of this second idea of people being leaders and leading projects?
Well, I think there are many areas in distributed leadership, but first of all is making sure that leaders create a clear direction, so that leaders give the direction. At the same time, they um, become, we call them Sherpas or guides, right?
Mm,
We put the top management at the service of the teams, because the teams are serving their customers, their consumers, and then the teams have obstacles to serve their customers, and then leaders are there to support, right? So when we say that um, people don't work for the leaders, right? People work for the customers, and leaders are there to support the teams that work for the customers. And this is a very important part of distributed leadership. The second is to visibilize talent that might be hidden in every corner of the organization. So when we create these teams, one mission, one team, one
yeah,
execution plan, in this team, we don't value hierarchy. So in these teams, we have the best people in the organization to serve this mission. So maybe it's someone that is 4 levels below the management team, the leadership team of the company. But if this is the best person to work in this team to achieve the mission, this is the right person to be. So, and one of the things I think all the team of Action Global is more proud is how many talent we visualize. Talent that sometimes they are not the ones that they present the PowerPoints in the best way, right? But they are
mm,
the ones that drive execution in the best way. They are the ones that work together with the other team members in the best way. They are the ones that go to the front line and understand the consumer, the user needs in the best way, and bring it back to the team and work together with the team. And we are very happy about this because we are multiplying leaders in the organizations, and this is one of the things that our customers value more. No, it's I remember many organizations where we started and they say, hey, here we know there are 30 people, 20, 30 people, no, that are super great leaders and that they can own business challenges, but we cannot imagine, no, that more people, and we have multiplied per 3, per 5, even per 9, and more, the number of leaders in these organizations. I remember, for instance, another beautiful organization in Spain, Eroski Group. It's a cooperative. It's the largest industrial cooperative in the world. And I remember when we started, the CEO told us, no, I know 30 people very well because it's my executive
yeah,
team, but we will need many more. No, we will need many more. And now I cannot say, no, how much time will it take us? And today they are more than 550, probably around 600 people moving together every week in a synchronized way. This is talent that was in the organization but was not enabled, right, to work in this way, and we are very happy about this. This is and we don't do this alone, by the way. We do this thanks to them, thanks to the leaders that are brave, that have the courage to put hierarchy at the service of the teams, and we achieve this thanks to them. We just enable them, and we just give them, our knowledge so that they can do their best.
yeah, it's beautiful. And also reminds me one comment which a person who was probably here in the live, Sally, asked me, and she wanted to ask you. Actually, this is the answer of the question, and she asked, and I'm going to check this here. What evidence can you share that having a coaching culture drives up performance? And probably this answer that you give, this example that you have only 30 leaders, but then with this guidance, with this service from the top executive, you uncover the talent that were already there but were
Yeah.
underused. Because I can imagine if you are in an organization and you know that always 3 level up are going to present to top management, you say, okay, you will tell me that how it goes. But then if I say, okay, Roberto, you are going to report to the CEO. You are
mm,
going to be in the sinker. You are going to
mm,
have 20, 40 opportunities every year to be in
mm,
front of the top management for 10 minutes and to
mm,
present your obstacle, what you did, what you did not,
mm,
what
mm.
what help do you want. I promise you that I would be very excited. And so this is amazing. Yeah,
No, no, we have no. Back to this question. Every time people ask us, what is the financial performance you achieve and all this, we always ask them. We ask them to contact our customers and to ask them about their P&Ls, right? Because we cannot disclose information. We have measured what we achieve in terms of growth, top line, bottom line, also in terms of speed to market, and the results are incredible. But we like the customers that they talk about what we achieve, and they explain it. But for me, by far the most important is what you are describing, is the number of talent we uncover, because these are the people that are going to lead
yeah,
the future of the organization. And when you in your organization you have 10 people, and after 1 year, that now you have 25, 30 people. Imagine the traction, the speed, the impact that the organization can have.
yeah,
And this is for the future. This is forever. And this is just what we are more prouder. And of course, this delivers financial results at scale. But the talent we uncover is the thing we feel more proud about.
yeah. Because then I can hear that when you have 30 leaders, then you have 90. And remember at the beginning, we said the ambition and the resources. You have more resources, actually. So you can be
Exactly.
more ambitious, but then more.
Exactly.
And then you have more
Exactly.
leaders, and then more
Exactly.
ambition. Bah, bah, bah.
Exactly.
Uh, uh, and then this
Exactly.
becomes very fun because you can do
Exactly.
more and more and faster and faster.
And very important thing, Roberto, now that we talk about work and that performance and care are not things that are opposite, but things that complement each other.
Yeah,
When you have more leaders, when you have more people that drive things in the organization, you don't have the typical 4, 5, 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, that are working 12 hours per day,
oh yes,
because you can distribute, right?
exactly.
You can distribute work in a way that is even and is fair.
Yeah,
And for me, this is also very important. This is why I say performance and care complement each other. And this is the only way you describe it. You created now. You described it just now. The flywheel of high performance, the flywheel of how performance and care complemented. And very important, because I believe there is a lot of bullshit about this today. And you know how it works in organizations, huh?
oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I would like to add to this because let's name. I would like to name the bullshit because I 100% agree with you because, and probably I think that this bullshit is also connected to this all this PowerPoint painting, all this thing because this is waste. So
Yeah,
if you waste so much time during this doing this thing, then of course you have to work more. But if you do only the, as you said, the brutal important thing, you say no to what is not necessary, then you don't have to work 14 hours. Of course, if you have to do it sometime, okay. But then
yeah.
you will go back to the normal. You will have more resources in terms of talent and so on. So this, I love what you said because this does not mean, and you mean about bullshit. When we talk about this project, we think, okay, this is means transformation, it means working 14 hours every day for 1 year because this is like a military. No, not at all. What you are saying is that you drive out the waste, you select what is critical, you go for that, and then when you build on these resources, you will have more resources and more, and the people will enjoy it. It's
Exactly.
not like treating people like machines, bringing out the best. And one more thing that I want you to talk about, which is very much connected to this, is why it's so important that one person only leads one mission for you.
Because of this, because we want to put pressure on the top management to discover more leaders. This is the only reason. We
Yeah,
want them not to do the easy thing of assigning one person to
yeah,
lead three missions. We want them to to discover new talent. And this is something that every time we get into an organization, they tell us, here we are different. Here it will be impossible, right, to achieve this. And I know I had said the same, so I will have said the same, to be honest, as a member of the management team. But thanks to our no to our work, uh, to my team, that they have a lot of resilience, and they have a lot of clarity on what to achieve. When we work, um, hand in hand with the top leaders, we achieve this, and we have a strong compliance on this principle across the organizations, in every single culture, in every single organization where we work for. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. And I love to add one thing on this, because when you say, okay, you are somehow putting the management in an uncomfortable position to say, no, we don't have just 30 leaders. You must uncover 50 more. Even
Mhm.
if they make mistakes in the beginning, whatever, do it, because there will be an investment. And then for the employee side, if you have 4 projects,
Mhm.
you can hide, because you can say, no, this week I was delayed because of that. And then when someone makes a photo, you look at the other way and you say, no, 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 I was doing that. And then, but where are you? And if you have only one, you have nowhere to hide, because you're only in one frame, and
Absolutely.
this is your playing ground. And
Absolutely.
then the beautiful side is that also, at least for me, my
Mhm.
best experiences in my personal and professional career was when I had one project, one team, as you said, one deadline, and we were very focused in delivering week after week after week, because you see the result in very short time. And then
Mhm.
you see the result, you get feedback, you get very excited about what works, what not. And this is what also makes you more engaged, not
Mhm.
being scattered over 10 projects. One, and then we will go to the other one. But then first this.
Absolutely, Roberto. And I have to say now that we are live, that we have a lot of common friends, and a lot of friends that have worked with you. Even one person that is in the book, that is Christine Dodge. She's
Oh,
the product director now in Spotify, but before she was at Netflix and at Google. So a really seasoned leader. She worked with you, and she said, well, with Roberto, we were like this. We were very well. Have a very good opinion of you. So I
oh,
just want to say, no, the
thank you.
credits also, no, to you, because yeah, we
Thanks.
have common friends, and we didn't know and see how small the world is.
Yeah, it's a small world. Thank you, Jonathan. And hi, Christine, if you are listening, or now or in delay. And by the way, now that you mentioned, let's check if we have some question in the chat. I see that we have some
Let's go for them.
many. So, for example, okay, Joaquin is talking about brutal focus, such a powerful concept. Seems obvious, but not for many. Yeah, this is classical example. Easy, yeah, simple, not easy. And Arancha, hi Arancha, is talking about from FOMO to JOMO. Exactly. This is, you remove the ways to make space for what matters, and then you enjoy what you're doing, and then you go to the next. Absolutely. Thank you, Arancha. And Franchant is talking about expectations, infinite opportunities. Yes, exactly, Patricia. And uh, oh, there's a question, interesting question from Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. How do you identify talent in a company you are working with for the first time?
Who identify talent? We at Global, we don't identify talent. We
Ah,
make leaders to identify talent. So what we do is to, first of all, through the principles we are describing. So one person can only lead one mission, first of all, but also one person can only be in two teams, right? And when we put this principle, when we start with this principle, this is a very difficult principle to follow, no? When we start, but then after some weeks, some quarters, the leaders make courageous and brave decisions about putting
yeah,
someone to lead, maybe someone that is not, that they have not seen before, someone that they have not experienced working with them, but another also, no, another leader below them has worked with him, with her, has a good experience. Hey, let's trust this person. They give the ownership to this person. She or he starts to work, with strong guidance, support. When he or she shows more confidence, then the guidance, the top leaders step back and coach more this person, and this is what happens. Huh? This is how it happens, and how leaders, by themselves discover new talent in the organization. By also this collective intelligence, saying, that the leaders, the top management, doesn't assign the people they know, but also talking to the, to their leaders, to the layer below, and also asking, hey, we need someone to lead this. Who do you believe, with whom you have worked that has delivered good results in this area? Could we put this person in charge of this? Well, maybe yes, but she needs some support. Okay, can we support her? Can we put someone to work with this person, and grow her, and enable her growth? Yes, we can. Okay, how we do it? And this is part of the conversation. And this is part also. Sometimes we put also during the quarters, let's say, leaders that are more experienced with leaders that are less experienced. For those leaders that are less experienced, let's say the top management it has more proximity. So proximity is also something that is not standard. No, proximity depends on how much proximity the person is asking to lead. That the person starts to, as I said, to get confidence, and this is how we evolve this. We like to talk about proximity, always avoiding micromanagement, but not every single leader needs the same level of proximity. Also depends on, is this a business challenge that is part of her daily work or his daily work? Yes, no. Is this something completely new where the person doesn't have business acumen but has, the technical skills? So we have a lot of conversations about talent. Well, half of our conversations are about business, half of our conversations are about talent. And then leaders make these decisions. We start, first week, second week, more coaching, less coaching. This person needs someone else from another team to join and put the specific capabilities and skills. These are the kind of discussions we have. We avoid to have political discussions, discussions about what went in the wrong direction. We all look forward to deliver on the most important priorities, and at the same time to build those people that want to grow in the organization.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. And also, this reminds me one thing, which I want to take again from the book, which is connected to the third part, which is the impact of activity. And there is this beautiful metaphor that you can see here about this one, the pilots and not the reporters. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, especially this. What we do in order to build this, and connect it to the previous question, um, we want to make sure that everyone has clear expectations. We don't expect anyone to report on what they did in the last week, because we trust people. What we want is to make sure that people is growing into this pilot mindset. And what we do is to make sure that they have clear their confidence level to deliver on the mission every week, that they know specifically where they are going to land at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, at the end of the cycle of the mission they are leading. What is their execution plan in the next weeks? And most important, what are the gremlins on the wings?
Mm,
What are the gremlins on the wings? It's those things that are not always politically correct to say, to surface. Those things that might not be comfortable to surface, but we empower teams and leaders to surface these things and to talk about these things openly, to tackle them, and to find a solution together. And this is why we say we don't want reporters. We don't want people talking about what happened. All those things that you can read in a report, or you can read in the emails. That is clear for everyone. Let's drive forward, and this is the way we build leaders also,
yeah.
through this habit, through this coaching, and through this trust. No, this is a framework of trust that we build in the organizations.
Yeah, and this connect. Thank you, Jonathan. This connect with the previous part, which is not about micromanaging, is about giving support. Because what I hear is that in this session, which are, by the way, you said it's a very quick session. It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You have ten
maximum.
minutes with top manager at most.
And
And in
moving.
this session, you cannot talk about, okay, we did this. No,
Mm,
what I hear is that you say, we are here, we
mm,
are going to get there,
mhm.
we are going to do this, and we have this obstacle. Please help us.
Exactly,
That's
exactly,
it.
exactly.
It's 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes. Yeah,
Every week.
in In most of the cases, it's 5 minutes, 5, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, because in the end, uh, this is it's created so that teams self-organize
Mm,
in an efficient way, in an effective way. So in the end, it's the self-organization of the team. If you
yeah,
have a team, let me say, and Roberto, you have led a lot of teams, you want to make sure that the team shares what is our confidence level to deliver, where we will land, what is our execution plan in the next weeks, and what are the obstacles or the problems or the fears or the things that we want to talk about with the leadership team.
yeah,
It's about this. It's about self-organization, and then you have the opportunity. We create the opportunity so that leaders have the top management every week. Because if there is a problem, we want the problems not to be alive in the organization for more than 1 week,
mm,
because problems that are alive, obstacles, fears, risks that are alive in the organization for more than 1 week are those problems that are between us and the consumer, the users, the customer satisfaction. And therefore, we
yeah,
don't believe that they can be alive in the organization for more than 1 week. And we don't want people to start to prepare PowerPoints, narratives, and long emails and long explanations about this problem. No, we want everyone to be there in the source of truth to talk about the problems in these 5 minutes, and it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. And everyone tells us it's impossible. Here, meetings take 60 minutes, 90 minutes. It's impossible. It's
yeah,
possible. It's
yeah.
possible.
And then so you think about how much waste we have if we can reduce to 5 minutes what took 60. And one thing that when you said about leaders is how important it is that the top management believes in this and is doing what they are saying. If we have 3 hours of this, whatever, I don't know how long. But by the way, how long is this session from the top management? How can it be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in 5 minutes slots?
Now, depending on the granularity on the
Okay.
organization, right? Because we
Yeah.
work for organizations that have a lot of categories and they are very granular, in terms of category, products, regions, and everything. And we have organizations that are more focused, but we do it in a way that also they are in parallel. So it means it's not everyone in the same place. So depending on what is the structure of teams and the role of the management team in each team, we might be synchronizing an organization of 3,000 million of dollars revenue per year in 1 hour and a half, 2 hours per week. No, I remember here the words of another leader that shows up in the book, that is Jérôme Dachuffaut. He was the general manager of Unilever Spain when we started Unilever Spain together with Elena Matabosh, who was also the CHRO. And later he went to Imperial Brands, and he brought also this practice to Imperial Brands. And he always says that by Monday midday, 12 a.m., I can go home, right? Because I know everything that is going on in my organization. I know how the teams feel. I know their confidence level. I know the obstacles. I have talked with the leadership team about how to solve these obstacles. And of course, he's joking because he has a lot of other things to do. But Monday, 12 a.m., he understands the strategic execution of his organization. He understands how the teams feel. He understands where the obstacles are, and he has agreed an action plan with the leadership team, with the management team, to unlock these obstacles. This is the reality. This is the reality, and this is what happens in reality in these organizations.
Mm. Yeah, and this reminds me of one thing that you talk about in the this is the drum beat, what you call the drum beat. And there are two things that you say, which is the transparency and the simultaneity on one side, and the politics and confusion on the other
Yeah.
side.
Simultaneity and transparency kills politics. When everyone sees the same reality in the same source of truth at the
Yeah,
same time, no one can hide, no one can explain others, no one can create their beautiful narratives in order to hide. And this is why we create this so radical transparent. We like to talk about radical transparency, radical transparent ways of working, because we want everyone to see what is the brutal important for the organization? We want everyone to have exactly the same principles to form their teams. We want these teams to present their execution plans at the same time, in the same way, to the whole audience. We want everyone to have the opportunity to give feedback in the same conditions. And we want that everyone that has something to say, to add, to build, to improve to the execution of the teams have a stable point of contact to do it. So no politics, no interpretations, no ambiguity. We work together towards our common goals. And it's as simple as it sounds. Back to the words of Andreas Jolle. It's the simple key that many people know, that there are people that don't know how to turn it, really valid, but there are people that don't want to turn it because they don't like the transparency and the consistency and the clarity that there is behind that door. And that is not for everyone. And it's good. Huh? It's good. There are people that build their careers based on politics, and it's also
It's
it's
a
also
way.
good. It's a
Yeah,
way. It's a way.
it's another
Not
way.
not our way, but it's a way.
Yeah, and what reminds me, which connects with the beginning, what you talk about the wall, that when something is green, but when it's yellow or red, it is red, because you don't let the things linger, and you don't hide the yellow, and then you have the meeting after the meeting to explain what's happening in reality. So you do this theater in the front of the top management, and they say, okay, the problem was A, B, and C, but we couldn't say, because then we fear, which is another thing that we saw in the beginning in the conversation. If you don't fear, if you did your best because you showed it every single week and you have nothing to hide, there is something which is yellow or red or whatever, you have nothing to worry about.
Absolutely,
So this is
absolutely.
also why you say it's not for everyone, because it's
Mhm,
very transparent. You
mhm.
have to put your best to be able to be on this meeting with the clean conscience. Let's say, okay, I did my best, and this is here.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. So this is why we always say we celebrate threats, because what we want to say is that we want to understand the problems that exist in the organization. When we start the year, no, another thing we change in organizations. So sometimes we go to organizations and say, "Hey, when do you start to work? When do you have your targets for the year? When you get your targets for the year from your boss?" No, 3rd of March, the first week of March, the second week of March. How? But when your year starts, January 1st, okay, how is it that you get the targets by February or March? No. So one of the things we like to do in organizations is that by January 1st, everyone starts to execute on the brutally important priorities for the year. And by January 10th, by January 15th, we already want to know the obstacles, the decisions that need to be made in 1 week in order to progress. Because those typical problems that, will surface in February, March in the organization, we want to know them in the first or the second week of January, because those are the obstacles that separate us from the satisfaction, from the impact of the users, the consumers, the customers, or those who we serve. And customers are bosses, and those are the ones we serve, and they don't deserve to be no, not well served by us because we are not tackling the obstacles because of politics, because of fears, or because of neglection. And we like to be very consequent in the drumbeat with the
yeah.
timings, and the drumbeat of the consumers, because in the end, they are the ones that set the rhythm of the organization.
Mm. Yeah, and you said two words, you said drumbeat and rhythm. And there are people also here in the audience who say, oh, it's the first time I hear the word rhythm with leadership.
Mhm.
So what's your take on that, and why is so important, this rhythm?
Oof, oof. It's the basis. When the rhythm of leadership is stable, is predictable, is consistent, uh, you know people is safe. People know what to expect. When people know that the leaders are going to be super clear, on March 1st, on June 1st, on September 1st, on December 1st, about the brutally important priorities for the next cycle, for the next might be quarter, might be year, might be 10 years, whatever. No, this is not about short term or long term. When
Yeah.
people know that this happens, when people know that leaders will be there every week to unlock, that leaders will not miss their presence,
Mm.
because they care about the performance of their teams. They care about unlocking the decisions that need to be made. When this happens, magic happens in organizations. Leaders need to be predictable, leaders need to be clear, and this is leadership rhythm. The drumbeat is the leadership rhythm, is where leaders make organizations really thrive, focus on business, focus on decision making, and not be focused on when can we talk with. No, it's incredible when I get into organization and I see how much time they spend booking meetings,
Wow.
uh, to talk to their leaders, and then the leaders change, and then booking meetings, and then they have the meeting, and then they have to book another meeting to explain to another person what to happen, and then another meeting to what happened, and what should have happened in May 15 happens in June 6. Well, who is waiting? Consumers are waiting. You know, consumers are waiting, and the leadership rhythm is about preventing this from happening in organizations. Leadership rhythm needs to be stable, clear, so that we can be agile, dynamic, flexible, so that we can react to what the consumer asks us, or we can anticipate. This is one of the. Sorry, maybe too long answer, but one of the
Not
things
at all.
we like to talk more about. You make super good questions, or the audience. No? But one of the things we like to talk more about is about anticipation, and you can only anticipate when you have, your cognitive focus not on
Yeah,
scheduling meetings
exactly.
and, explaining others, and all the time being reporting and reporting, but when you have this cognitive focus on the future, on what will come next, on our execution plan, on business, and not in politics, and not in protecting your career. So
Yeah,
this is the leadership rhythm.
yeah, and it's beautiful because there is a quote from the book which comes to mind, which is the short-term discipline, which is what you describe,
Mhm.
which is we know where we're going to meet, who is going to be there, what to expect. All the structure is here. It's just like a scaffold.
Mhm.
But then you don't know what's going to be there. You just know the structure. You know that you're going
Exactly.
to talk with top management next week,
Exactly.
so don't worry. You will
Exactly.
have your chance to work and don't think about this. And then this over time comes an advantage because then you can really do what matters and not book meetings.
Absolutely, Roberto.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And there is so much bullshit also about this, no?
yeah.
People say, no, this is short term. This is nothing to do with short term.
No,
So think about your heart, right? It's stable, it's predictable, it's
yeah,
consistent, right? And it's a lifetime habit, right? It's exactly the same. There are things in business that have to be predictable, and this is the leadership rhythm. Because when the leadership rhythm, the organizational rhythm, the drumbeat is stable, then people can focus on the consumers, the users, and the customers, or those that they serve, and they are not focusing, as I said, on reporting, on preparing exactly the same information for different people in different layers, in different to different stakeholders, because this is waste. And back to the start of the session, work is the most powerful force on the planet to lead a positive impact at scale. But work is this positive force, this powerful force when you work on things that matter.
yeah,
Scheduling meetings is the work of robots, um, and it's yeah, and also reporting is the work of robots. No, we see it now with AI, but it was like this, to be honest, 10 years or 15 years ago.
yeah.
So we need to step up, our respect for our humanity.
Yeah, and this will be much more fun, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I see now, time flies. It's already 6 p.m.
Oh my
here
god.
in Spain. Yeah, and we could go on for one other hour, but we just talk about quick meetings. We talk about so we have to be.
This is not a meeting. This is fun.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is a conversation. So anyway, I think. I will check one last time in the chat to at least to say hi to the people who are still engaging. We will answer later, of course. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Miguel, Gabriela, Stephanie. And it was so interesting to have this conversation with you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. I hope the people perhaps get the book and has inspired to know more about this and puts into practice specifically to turn the key, not just to have the key, because this is the key, but then you have to do something. And I have one last question for you, which is a little bit connected with what you said, the beginning and the end. What would you like to see more and less in the world?
Uh, oof. There are so many things I would like to see more and less. Um, I would like to see more talent driving, um, driving difficult challenges, no, that we have in humanity, no. So I think we have so many human challenges right now. We have a lot of technology. I would like to see that people use work, right, and that people work to solve those challenges and give the opportunity to other people to work on
Yeah,
those challenges. No, leaders that build more leaders to solve the toughest business human challenges that we have today. So I would like to see more of this. I wouldn't like to see heroes. I don't want to see heroes. I want to see people that
yeah,
take challenges and build leaders to take more challenges. This is what I would like to see more of. And what I wouldn't like to see is, wars, huh? Cruelty. This is what I wouldn't like to see. No, I dream with one day where there are no wars in the world, and where there is no cruelty, because it's incredible that in today's world we have the things that
yeah,
are happening in with childs being killed in different regions, different parts of the world, and how we cannot use technology, no, and our humanity to stop this. So this is my dream, yeah, that next time we talk, um, the world is a better world.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. I 100% subscribe to that. And again, this reminds me how lucky we are to have this conversation, to have these uh,
Absolutely.
beautiful people connected with us,
Mhm.
which share the insights, and
Mhm.
perhaps we can also have more of this and less of that, of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Roberto, and thank you for everyone that connected today. Thank you very much.
So, bye bye. Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye. Take care. Bye bye.